Additional learning resources. Well, at this point, friends, we've covered all of the exam objectives, all of the content area for the Oracle OCP and Oracle Database 11G. Consider this nugget as an add-on or a capstone for the course. I'm going to share with you some websites that I feel are extremely useful to you as an Oracle certification candidate, as a new, or heck, even as an existing working Oracle professional. I've divided the sites I'm going to show you into 4 general categories. We'll first focus on exam prep because I know a significant portion of CBT Nuggets customers do have as their primary goal passing the associated certification exam for a series. I'll then show you some really great and time-saving Oracle tech sites. We'll branch out yet further by examining the Oracle community. This can save you actually not just time, but money in terms of paying for Oracle support requests. You can lodge your question online and have Oracle professionals from all over the world help you. It's an interesting community. I'm quite familiar with it, and I can compare it with other tech communities out there, pros and cons. The final category we'll examine is the notion of Oracle job search. What are your salary prospects as an Oracle DBA? Are there good online sites for looking for Oracle DBA jobs? And of course, the answer to that question is yes. Let's get to work. Let's begin this by my sharing with you Warner's 3-step method for passing IT certification exams. This is culled from many years of experience as an IT certification test taker. I have well over 20 certifications under my belt, as well as a test developer. I've written practice questions for Transcender, for PrepLogic, and others, so I have a lot of behind-the-scenes experience with this subject matter. And I would say that this model that I developed, it's certainly nothing entirely original. It can be pictured graphically as an equilateral triangle with each of these 3 components having equal weight into an individual's success passing any IT cert test. Those categories are theory, practice, and review. Now, theory refers to things like vocabulary and, well, theoretical information, facts, figures, statistics, procedures, etc. And all of that is fully covered in this series for your OCP certification test. Oracle uses vocabulary in a little bit different way. Really, any information technology vendor is going to have their own nomenclature, and Oracle is no different. So part of the theory component of this method is making sure you know all of that relevant terminology, such that you're not thrown off when you go through these questions on the exam. The Oracle tests, as you know, as an OCP candidate, are pretty darn tricky, and they can ask for some specific information. Now, theory's only as good as it goes. Now, what do I mean by that? You also need to understand how to apply the theory. That's what I call practice. And for that, you have my nuggets, my demos that I always include in my nuggets. But also, you're going to need to supplement that by practicing. Certainly, if you're working in a production environment, you don't want to tinker around on your production systems. You want to set up a lab environment. There's so many options nowadays. When I got into IT in the mid to late 90s, setting up a practice lab involved gathering several hardware computers and stringing them together with Ethernet cable. Nowadays, thanks to virtualization, we can set up robust networks all on a single piece of host hardware. Now, we can download the Oracle software for free and use it in an evaluation capacity for free. You also can download Linux for free. We know that. Windows Server, you can download 180-day eval versions of that, so you can actually set up a lab environment without spending any money. Third part of this model is review, and this deals with practice test software. Now, I've seen people with lots of theory and lots of practice go into an Oracle exam and fail it because they weren't familiar enough with how Oracle asks questions. Now, that's something that can bite you on any IT certification exam. You have all this real-world experience, but you fail the test because you're lacking test-taking skills. This is where practice test software fills the breach, and actually, you can use CBT Nuggets for that as well. When you log in at cbtnuggets.com with your user account credentials, assuming you're a subscriber, we can use the video training link on the navigation bar. And instead of staying on the IT training tab, which is where you get to the series themselves, these nugget videos, we can come over to the exam prep page. and take Kaplan Self-Test. Now, Self-Test and Transcender are pretty much one and the same now. I believe Kaplan bought Self-Test software. Of course, Transcender and Self-Test used to be two completely separate competing companies. I myself, as I mentioned earlier, used to work for Transcender, but the sands have certainly shifted in IT certification preparation software. Bottom line is, I can tell you that you can trust these folks. They know how to write realistic exam simulations. So in Refine Playlist, let's type Oracle and try to find our exam. Here it is right here, Oracle Database 11G Administration 2, and you can start and take these exams directly from your web browser, as you see here. And the way these practice tests are set up, it's really, really ingenious. You can look at flashcards that are a way to just do quick reviews. You can do learning mode, where we can step through practice questions slowly and reveal the answers. And then when you feel you're ready to start drilling down and preparing for the actual test, we can do certification mode, where you're actually simulating a live exam environment. I'm going to go into learning mode and leave the default that randomly selects 50 questions out of the test bank, and then we'll click Start Test. Now, at first blush, you might see this practice question and be afraid. It's important that you understand that you're going to be asked to interpret SQL. Remember that part of the OCP objectives is that you have the OCA, and part of the OCA objective is that you've passed an SQL test. So be prepared to see not only SQL blocks or PLSQL blocks, but also interface screenshots from Oracle Enterprise Manager. Now look at this question. We won't spend much more time on this, but this question is obviously dealing with block media recovery. It tells us that we're using BMR to recover the blocks that are marked as corrupt since the last backup. Which view should we query to display that information? So this question requires that we remember which dynamic performance view is relevant for investigating BMR. Now, we covered that both in the theory part of that nugget as well as in the demo. So as long as you're practicing, Virtualization Lab practice allows us to take the theory and really groove it into our head. That's the good thing with that. Now let's move on to Oracle Tech Sites. In my 3 CBT Nuggets training courses on Oracle Database, I've come to this site quite a bit. It's DBA-Oracle.com. It's the homepage for a consulting company called Burleson Consulting. The guy who runs this company is a really interesting, eccentric fellow. They do a lot of stuff. They do consulting. They have their own publishing imprint where they publish books. The reason why I suggest the site, though, is that Don Burleson and his company are very willing to share their expertise for free through this website, and they have high Google search relevancy. Chances are, if you do a Google search on a specific Oracle topic, you'll find a link to Burleson Consulting pages within the first page or 2 at the most. Another community site that you'll want to bookmark is Oracle Facts. This is orafaq.com. And as the disclaimer tells us here, this is not an official site, but a get-together of people with jobs in Oracle. So in a sense, it's a insider's view in terms of questions that Oracle employees themselves are dealing with. And it's a place for these folks to aggregate reference regarding Oracle. There's a forum, there's blogs, there's links to books. This is just an extremely rich place for you to check out, not only to get your questions answered, but just to learn more about Oracle as a platform. This is aura-code.com. We've referenced Oracle errors and RMAN errors quite a bit in the course, and at times you probably have wondered to yourself, gee, isn't there a place that I can go to just type in my Aura error to get detailed information on it? You can always use Google, but sometimes that takes quite a bit of time to separate the wheat from the chaff. Auracode.com is an excellent index of all Oracle errors. And as you see here, it's just literally running numerically from low to high. You can do a search for an error code, and if we click a specific error number, it tells us, albeit kind of briefly, what the cause and action of that problem is. There's also a link to an Oracle DBA forum here as well. You're going to find, if you don't already know this, that Oracle community is pretty darn active. It's interesting. I mentioned that in the beginning of this nugget that I'm familiar with the Oracle community and can compare it to other communities like, say, the Microsoft professional community. Oracle community is very helpful, but they don't take any guff. That is, If you ask a question on a typical Oracle DBA forum, and it's clear to other members that you haven't consulted the main documentation, the Oracle documentation first, they will call you on it immediately. So you'll want to make sure before just asking a question off the top of your head that you apply some due diligence and do at least some preliminary research before you reach out to a forum. Final thing I'll say about the Oracode site, you'll notice that they have this host name thing where each Ora error is given what looks like a DNS subdomain. So you can actually go directly to an Ora error page by typing ora-the error number.oracode.com. I think that's pretty ingenious, actually. A site that I've referenced in several of my training series, not only Oracle, is ss64.com. This is a command line reference to, well, you can see right here, not only Oracle, but SQL Server from Microsoft, and then we have some shell scripting language, Windows shell scripting, Bash shell scripting in Linux, OS X, VBScript, PowerShell. Of course, we're interested in Oracle, and this gives us an A to Z index. It's essentially a shortcut way to get to the documentation. This is going to show you the syntax for a particular command. Sometimes you'll see examples, and it's useful to get related commands and related views down here. SS64 is definitely a site that should be in your favorites lists. This is probably the first site I should have shown you. I mentioned it several times in the training. This is Tahiti.oracle.com. Any Oracle DBA needs to know about this. This is a common question you'll get at a job interview, actually. If somebody asks you what Tahiti is, you can tell them it is the ultimate homepage, the root level homepage to the Oracle documentation. And you'll see up here, and if you probably knew this, that Oracle is far more than Oracle database. They have several application servers that they've either built themselves or acquired. Same with collaboration suites. Tahiti is the ground floor to all of that software. So if you're looking for the most recent documentation for Oracle Database, you can always rest assured that at the top of the Tahiti Oraclecom page, under Oracle Database, you'll see the very latest release. And here it is right here, Database 11G Release 2 as of this recording. And that will take us to this familiar homepage for the 11G R2 documentation library. And we've been through this before, that each book is available in several different formats. Initially, they show you PDF and HTML links. If you click the HTML link, you'll be able to download that book in MobiPocket and or EPUB form for display on your e-reader, tablet, or mobile phone. This is the most sophisticated documentation I've ever seen in any enterprise software. I just love it. I've received a lot of help and I've learned a lot about Oracle's capabilities through DBASupport.com, what they call the Knowledge Center for Oracle Professionals. It's a little bit overwhelming because it's so text heavy, as you see. You might just simply come to the home page and run a search, a site search for the topic you're interested in, or you probably would come here through a search engine referral because they also have pretty high search engine relevancy. If you're just interested in browsing, if you're that kind of a student, you can hit up the 11G Central page, which is an index that drills into the articles they're hosting. And they're divided into categories: security, development, administration, etc. And some of them get very specific, as you see here, but this is an excellent way to broaden and deepen your skill set, on the theoretical side at the least. Besides Tahiti, we also should be familiar with Oracle University. You want to click your country on this page. It's education.oracle.com, and this is where we can read about the different certification programs, certification paths, the specific exams. Oracle themselves has instructor-led training and computer-based training, but what would you need besides CBT nuggets, right? In terms of signing up for your test, most of you probably know this, but for those of you who are taking this course for informational purposes, or you just decided to start with OCP as opposed to OCA, you need to be aware that we use this site, pearsonview.com/Oracle, to register for your Oracle certification tests. Pearson VUE is one of two primary IT certification exam registrars. The other one is Prometric. Some technology vendors partner exclusively with VUE, others partner exclusively with Prometric, yet others have an account with both registrars. Please know that the exams are exactly the same. If you deal with an exam that's offered by by view or Prometric. Same bank of questions, costs the same amount of money, everything is mirrored. So it really just depends upon your availability and preferences to do that. Now the OCP exam is a proctored test, so you're going to have to locate a test center that's within reach of your home. And as you see from this control panel, you can schedule a test, reschedule, you can do all of that kind of stuff through View. You'll need to create a View account that is in fact separate from your Oracle account. Now let's move to Oracle Community. Forums.oracle.com is the ground level forum home directly at Oracle. And as you see here, they have a lot of forums because Oracle owns a lot of technology. You'll want to drill in specifically to the Oracle community that deals with Oracle database. By the way, this is a related page at oracle.com/community that gives you one-click access to Oracle blogs, the Oracle Technology Network where you can download the Oracle software, as well as to the discussion forums. This is the forums.oracle.com page that maps to the database itself. And there are several categories within this, as you see here. There's Oracle discussion forums going into Oracle database, and then I've gone into the general category here. If you have any experience with online discussion forums, the vast majority of them work the same way. I just want to give you the caveat, like I said before. You want to make sure to exert due diligence before you post questions or you'll get your hand smacked. AskTom is a community site / informational site. This guy Tom Kite is an Oracle legend, really. As far as I know, he's still an Oracle employee. And the purpose of this site is for him to field questions from the public and then follow up. It becomes kind of a public back and forth between the question asker and Tom. As you see here on the top of his homepage at asktom.oracle.com, you see the most recent questions, the most recently updated questions. You can always do a search, of course. And the language here is pretty interesting. This guy Tom doesn't pull any punches. If he thinks you asked an inappropriate question, he'll certainly tell you. If you speak or write in a way that he doesn't understand, he'll tell you that right off the bat. Sometimes I've found it a little problematic to just wade through all this text. As you see, he's not doing a lot of markup to make the text and the code easier to differentiate. That's why, quite honestly, this isn't one of my favorite sites. But some Oracle DBAs just can't get enough of it. Another Oracle community / information site is oraclebase.com. That's Oracle-base. This is technically a one-person operation. This individual, Tim Hall, who's a DBA from the UK, maintains it. And boy, he must spend a lot of time each week on this site. Either that or he has a whole bunch of ghostwriters, because there's a tremendous amount of content on here going all the way back from Oracle 8i all the way up to future versions of Oracle, as you see here. This site also has super high search engine relevancy, so chances are if you look up a concept on Oracle 11g, on the first page you'll see one of his blog posts. The forum, as you see, has quite a few posts in it, and Tim, the owner, is very interactive. So this is quite a gem of a community / information site for you. Finally, in the community side, again, I want to go back to Burleson Consulting. This is dbaforums.org. Don Burleson himself is active on the forum, as you see here, the last post, Burleson. So talk about an expert. You can pick somebody's brain who is a world-renowned expert in Oracle technologies. And again, he doesn't pull any punches. He's not an Oracle employee, and he makes it very clear on his site that Burleson Consulting has nothing to do with Oracle. So there's not any of that corporate hesitance that you sometimes see when you're dealing with Oracle employees, or frankly, when you're asking any company employee to criticize their own product. Lastly, let's take a look at job search tools. Or you want to know, for instance, what your prospects are as an Oracle DBA. There's a few salary calculator type sites. This one's been around for a long time. It's salary.com. You can simply put in your search. Optionally, you can put in a city, and it'll give you quite a bit of metadata. For instance, this is Oracle Database Administrator. It describes the job in general, and then it shows based on its corpus. Sometimes I wonder how large of a data set they have to work with. And the colors here are really bothering me. Fortunately, you can hover over to get a picture of what each color means in these graphs. Years of experience, you see the largest pie slice is 5 to 10. As I mentioned, Oracle's a pretty tough skill set. It takes a brave person to get into Oracle at the start of their career. Much more likely, you see here, you've got at least 5 years of experience, if not 10 or more. Education level, it looks like the vast majority of folks working as Oracle DBAs have at least a 4-year college degree. Also looks like, again, pretty significantly more folks work with Oracle in a fairly large organization, 1,000 to 7,500 workers. And the industry breakdown is interesting. Educational, government, and nonprofit, software and networking, and healthcare take the cake there with significant values. Let's click View Salary Info. And at least in the United States, it looks like the median salary is a little under $100,000. That's not bad. And that speaks to the fact that this is highly specialized skill, number one, and it's an in-demand skill as well. Super in demand, actually. Whoops, I forgot one more community site. I would be remiss if I didn't remind you to look into an Oracle user group in your organization. This is software-pointers.com, and within that website infrastructure, this is a page called 50 Handpicked Oracle Organization Sites. And essentially, it just breaks down and gives you links to user groups around the world. User group is a fantastic way for you to network and get connected with people who are actively working with Oracle in production environments. This can be helpful if you're on the hunt for a job in Oracle. It also can help you maybe make a job transition or advance in your current job, or frankly, you're working in the other direction. You need to make a hire, and you may find an exceptionally well qualified and willing candidate by attending your local Oracle user group meeting. 2 more job sites to cover. One is Dice.com. I myself have found quite a bit of work through Dice, contractor work. It's been around for a long time. Just do a search for a job title. Again, you can do an advanced search if you want to limit it to a particular geographical area, but you'll find there's lots available. I just did a quick search here for Oracle Database Administrator, and there we see a job here in Hazelwood for SQL Server Oracle Database Administrator. Here's one in Atlanta for Oracle DBA. Here's one Hampton, Virginia with IBM. And there's just so much demand for Oracle administrators. It's crazy. The final site I want to show you is Orasearch.com. This is called the premier Oracle career site. And this is useful not only for job seekers, but also for hiring managers. As you see here, the 2 main classifications are those seeking employment as an Oracle professional and those who need to hire an Oracle professional. Additional learning resources review. In this final nugget of the course, we extended upon the formal content we covered throughout the previous 19 nuggets. I gave you a whole bunch of really useful websites with which you can grow as an Oracle certified professional. I gave you some excellent tips and tricks for passing certification exams, not just the Oracle exams, but the tips I gave you are applicable to any information technology or IT cert test. I hope I've opened your eyes to some Oracle tech and Oracle community sites that you may not have been aware of prior to viewing this nugget. And I also hope you're excited about your job prospects. Databases are not going anywhere. When you think about it, business is becoming increasingly reliant upon computers and computer networking, interconnectivity, and the internet. Where are businesses storing their data? Well, in relational database systems. So any business worth its salt needs qualified professionals to run and maintain those databases. Oracle being an industry-leading database, that's one feather in your cap. Another is the fact that Oracle is generally speaking considered to be a more complicated, higher-end database than several of its competitors. So you can definitely demand a premium salary for having Oracle DBA skills. I'd like to encourage you, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, curiosities, complaints, anything like that related to this course or IT certification in general, perhaps my other courses, perhaps you have a course to suggest in a topic area, please reach out to me via email. I always enjoy interacting with my students. My email address is tim.warner@cbtnuggets.com. For those of you who have written to me and we've communicated using my old nuggetlab.com email address, please update your address books for my contact card and change it to my new address, would you please? With that, I will leave you to your study. I look forward to hearing from you. It's been a pleasure being your trainer in this series, and I wish all the best to you in your certification endeavors, your careers, and your lives. I hope that this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.